Hey, good evening, everyone. Time once again for the Suwannee Sports Report. It's brought to you by Roundtree Moore Ford, Highway 90 in Lake City, Florida. Right now, they've got that employee pricing going on, so take advantage of that. I was looking at the trucks, man. They've got a great selection of trucks, the Rangers, the Mavericks. They've got the 150s, 250s, 350s. I didn't know this. They even have a 450. Anyway, go check out their selection. They got a great selection of used vehicles as well and a top-notch service department. Roundtree Moore Ford on Highway 90 in Lake City. All right, today we're talking Hamilton County Trojan football. We've got the head coach of the Trojans over here, Mr. Fabian Reid. We'll talk to him right after this timeout. Keep it here for the Sports Report on rivercountrysports.com.
Hey, this is Stephen Jones with Roundtree Moore Ford in Lake City. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, there's never been a better time to buy. With Ford's employee pricing, you pay what we pay. What was once a reserve price for Ford employees is now being extended to the general public for a limited time. Anyone can take advantage of this special pricing opportunity. With Ford's employee pricing, you get a fixed, upfront pricing with no need for negotiation. And you can rest assured that you receive the best price, where right now you can receive up to $12,000 off selected new vehicles. And when discounts on new vehicles are this high, it makes your trade-in worth even more money. Where right now at Roundtree Moore Ford, we're offering a free 2-minute trade appraisal, where you can swing by our location here in Lake City or go to RoundtreeMoreFord.com and you can get a free 2-minute appraisal. So don't miss your opportunity to lock in employee pricing only at Roundtree Moore Ford in Lake City. You can check us out on Highway 90 West or across the mall in Lake City or go to RoundtreeMoreFord.com.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Van Carpet One. For 78 years, we've been your local family-owned and operated floor covering store, and we can't wait to serve you. Let's go check out some of the stuff we've got and say hey to the guys.
Hey guys, this is Michael Van here at Van Carpet One. Wanted to show you our huge display of carpet. Got about 1,000 rolls for you that we can order. We also keep about 100 in stock that are on clearance, so please come down and give us a visit. We appreciate it.
Come in and see the largest tile collection in North Florida. Van Carpet One has every tile you could possibly imagine. If you can't find it here, they don't make it. Guys, take a look at this. This is just some of our options in waterproof vinyl plank, where we have the largest selection anywhere around here, including over 70 pallets in stock, ready to go right now. Come in and see our fantastic selection of elegant hardwood too, followed up by fantastic service that you expect from a company like Van Carpet One.
Come on in and see us.
We can't wait to serve you. And that's a boom shakalaka.
Aww. Hey, Hamilton County. It's the Miss Red, White, and Beautiful Patriotic Pageant Celebration. Calling all young stars to come show off your red, white, and blue and shine with confidence, pride, and purpose. Hosted by the Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce, Thursday, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton County Annex in Jasper. 3 age divisions: Little Miss, ages 5 to 8, Junior Miss, ages 10 to 14, and Miss, ages 15 to 17. The cost to participate, $50. Applications are available on the Chamber's Facebook page at First Federal in Jasper, also at the Annex, Jasper Library, and the Jasper City Hall. For more information, email hamcopageant@gmail.com. Celebrating the spirit of America, it's the Miss Red, White, and Beautiful Patriotic Pageant Celebration. Don't miss it, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton County Annex in Jasper. And back here on the Sports Report, today we're talking Hamilton County Trojan football. I've got Coach Fabian Reid with me, head coach of the Trojans. How's it going?
Man, I'm blessed, man. It's actually an honor to be here. I really want to say thank you for having me today.
Oh, no problem. I work in Hamilton County every morning. I do the radio zoo with Kick and Kevin, and we've had you in there in the studio, but first time here on camera on River Country, so appreciate you taking the time out. Catch me up a little bit. Tell me what's happening with the Trojans. I know you're going through those 7-on-7s, summer drills, weightlifting, all that. How's it looking?
It's looking real good, man. I really think we got a good bunch this year. Last year we ended up going 5-5. We're looking to build off that this year.
Okay.
This summer has been extremely busy. We got tons of 7-on-7s. We got a paddock camp down at Warner University next month. Then it's almost time for official start date of practice. So it's been going real well, man.
It's do you have a kickoff classic, by the way? I was looking at your schedule on Max Press, but it doesn't list a classic. Are you playing a preseason game?
So we do have a kickoff classic now. With that schedule that was put out, a couple games is actually going to change on there. But our kickoff classic is August 14th against Wolfson in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay. Traveling to Wolfson?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I believe it's 6 o'clock. But I have to get back on you on that. I got to double check the time.
Oh yeah, they start a little bit earlier in Jayville, but so I see Bell on the schedule. Wildwood, you got Lafayette, you got Suwannee, and you got Jefferson County. Wildwood's actually listed twice, so I was going to ask you about that.
So Wildwood game is listed twice on there, but the correct date for that game is week 2. Week 2. We played
Okay.
them early. I believe I want to say it's 8/28.
Yep.
All right, but the other game on there is actually that game where Wildwood is at. It's going to be South Marion. Actually playing South Marion, a new team down in Ocala.
Okay. All right. And then you have Williston. You got Fort White. You got Wildwood. You end up with FAMU, Baby Rattlers. Fort White was a big rivalry back when I was doing radio for Hamilton County Trojans. That was a great matchup, I thought. Very similar schools, so that's nice to see them back on the schedule.
Yeah, Fort White is actually, I think they're a good ball club over there.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the rival that they had back in the days, but we're looking to change some things with that, though, for
Yeah.
sure.
Coach Jackson doing a good job. Been over there for a while and got that program rolling. So,
He's doing a
uh,
good job.
yeah. But let's talk a little bit about the Trojans. What do your numbers look like as far as kids who have come out this year?
So this year we actually been very fortunate to have a lot of different guys come out. We have, I think right now we got about 35 kids out for a small independent school like Hamilton. A lot of people don't know this year we're not Royal or we're not 1A this year. We actually went independent. So
Okay.
we got 35 kids this year. This year we have a middle school, a JV, and a varsity. So the numbers are pretty good. The kids are showing up and we're working hard every day, man.
You haven't had a JV program for a while, so that's a new one this year, right?
I think it's crucial to have a JV program because a lot of those guys go from rec league to middle school straight to varsity.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a JV program, you're kind of denting yourself or hindering yourself in the future.
Yeah, and you know how kids grow and how fast they grow,
Yeah,
but yet you coming into ninth grade, you may weigh, a buck 50 if you're lucky, and you asking this kid to go up against a senior.
right.
Yeah, so it is nice to have that feeder program.
So one thing that we started this year that's a little bit different from the past. So I'm not familiar with all the other schools that other schools have, but in Hamilton, so we actually started giving our guys nutrition after every weight session, after every workout session,
Mhm.
because now, we need you to get bigger, faster, stronger. That's the main things in the summer.
Right.
So now we're getting protein shakes, protein smoothies. Yesterday they had chicken Alfredo, chicken, shrimp, and also sausage. So we're trying to, like you said, develop those JV kids so when they get up to varsity, now it's not a buck 50 no more, now you
Right.
200.
Yeah, help you compete a little bit better. Tell me about your decision. And I don't know if you were involved in the decision, but a lot of the rural schools broke away from the FHSAA, and you said you went independent. You're still under the FHSAA umbrella, but a lot of schools went with this new Sunshine State League.
So a lot of teams, they did do what's best for their program, and I just thought that I think going independent was best for our program.
Okay.
Nowadays, the ball is changing. It's changing. That's with 1A, that's with Royal, that's with SSAA, and that's also with independent. So I think that decision was a decision that was made for the best for the football program at the time at Hamilton. I still, as you look at the schedule, I still tried to keep it relatively close to a true 1A schedule.
Mhm.
I think everyone on that schedule is either 1A or SSAA, so still a good schedule.
And is there a state championship to compete for on an independent level? Is there a tournament after the regular season?
So with the independent, they're still trying to come up with the ideas and the rules and regulations of what they're going to do. But from my understanding, Bobby John said that it was going to be some type of playoff bracket, so
Okay.
it'll
All
be
right.
nice.
So you can put those goals in front because in the old days, I mean, when you played, it was district championship was always that
Right.
that first goal, but now
Right.
that's kind of out the window.
I think nowadays, like I said, with the numbers changing and different teams going from here to here, or this team might move down, this team might move up. That's why a lot of those teams, left 1A or Royal and went SSAA because
Right.
nowadays, back then that was the goal. We play these amount of district games, and now we have a chance for the playoffs. Now we have a chance to go to the championship. But a lot of those teams, and I say us ourselves, we felt like that it was in our best interest for the program to kind of go away from that.
Yeah. And Hamilton, when you came in, I mean, you guys went through I don't know how many coaches, but you just couldn't have that, you know, security, that continuity.
Mhm.
And you have brought that now. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is your second full-time season with the Trojans?
So this is actually my
Your
third, and
third?
I'm going into
Okay.
my second year as a head coach.
Second year as a head
Yes,
coach,
sir.
okay. But so one of the things I talked to you when we interviewed on radio your first year was building that back up, getting kids, used to this coaching staff, getting used to, wanting to play for the Trojans. I mean, have you been able to achieve that? You feel like that's growing?
For sure. I always tell my coaches, I think it's detrimental that we got to recruit the halls in school.
Right.
So I think if you're going to be a head coach, you got to be on campus. All right. There's no other way you'd be able to recruit the halls, especially at a small school like Hamilton. You might have maybe 600, 620 kids. So what does that mean for the football program? We don't have 60, 65 kids on the football team. You might have 40 or 50. So I think coming in my first year, I think it was crucial that I went and found as many kids as I can in the halls. Hey, why don't you come and play football? And most of them missed their first time.
Right.
So, times like right now in the summer, these 7-on-7s, paddock counts, these workouts, that's good for them to get that experience.
Yeah. And football, it's tough. It's not for everybody. So,
Yeah, it's not.
some kids would rather sit there on the couch and play video games instead of getting out there and working.
I think the main thing about this generation is, they like you said, some of them do like to stay home and play the games, but the ones that's actually committed, the ones that actually want to do something and make something out of themselves with football, they
Right.
gonna show up each and every day and give you everything you got. And that's all I can ask for,
Yeah.
man.
I know you've lost some players to the transfer portal. Like, can we call it a transfer portal? I don't know how that works in high school. And in college, they call it the transfer portal. But you have lost some kids that have gone to different schools. Suwannee has a couple of them, and I
Mhm.
think some went to Fort White as well.
So I think nowadays, kids gonna do what's best for them. Like you said, it's kind of just like the collegiate level. In college, they got the transfer portal. In high school, we have school choice in Florida.
Okay.
So now kids can go anywhere they want to of their choice, and you can't blame them. They're just trying to do what's best for them. Do it sucks for a small program like us, yes, but just like football, man, you got to adapt and adjust.
Yeah. And I guess you have some transfer in as well, so it works both ways.
Yeah, usually every year, a couple people move from here and there, So hopefully we get lucky, man. We had a couple pieces come in already, and hopefully we can continue to get lucky.
Okay. Well, you're putting it together. What about your coaching staff? Is that all cohesive? That one's together? Or are you still looking for some pieces?
So we still have the same staff as last year, bringing a new O-line coach. I
Okay.
think you can't win ball games without a good O-line coach. But other than that, I still have retained everyone from last year.
Okay. What position did you play when you played high school ball?
So when I was in high school, I played running back. Also, I played defensive line. I went to college for defensive line as well. But when we went to state in 2014, I was actually the starting center.
Yeah. And I'm sure you tell the kids that, what you did when you played, because this program could be that again.
That's the goal. Obviously I do tell them that, but believe it or not, man, most of these kids, they trying to figure out what they want to be in life, what they want to do in life. So it's my job as a head coach is not to make you me or make you better than me, but make the best you that you can be.
Right. But football is a sport that you can use that as a tool to get to wherever you want to go because you're learning teamwork, you're learning hard work, you're learning how to play, with other players. And I mean, there's a lot that can be learned from coming out and playing football.
Right, and I tell them that each and every day. I tell them that football is going to end one day. Unfortunately, I had a coach in college. His name was Antrell Allen. Antrell Allen. He's at Eastern Michigan right now, and he told me, he said, you can love the game, but the game won't love you back. So I think it's imperative that you use the game and get everything you can from it. So when it's done with you, all right, you done sharpen all your knives and you good off by yourself.
Coach, tell me, where did you go to college?
I went to Shorter University, a small
Okay.
private school, D2 school up in Rome, Georgia.
Right. Did you have, at the end of your playing days, did you have a vision of being a head football coach? Is that what you thought you would do?
And to be honest with you, no. Honestly,
Oh,
my goal was to always go to college, go to the NFL, then come back home and just be a coordinator or a position coach. I'm
okay.
coming from a small school like Hamilton or a small community like Hamilton. All right, you want to just make it out, but then once you make it out, you almost get survivor's remorse or survivor's guilt. So I felt as though it was my obligation to come back home, help those kids be what I wish I had when I was growing up. And just so happened I came in as a D line coach, then ended up being the defensive coordinator, and then a couple guys moved around, and here I am as the head coach.
Do you feel comfortable in that role now? I mean, it's taken you got to grow into it a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people look at that, because I'm young and be like, man, it might be tough for you. But I think I'm young, but, mentally, though, I'm very experienced. I had two different head coaches in college. three different defensive coordinators. So I don't learned a lot over the years. I don't know everything, and as long as you're green, you're still growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when it comes to game day, do you calling plays? Do you have offensive coordinator? How does that work?
So I have a great, phenomenal offensive coordinator. He played at the University of Georgia. He called the offense, and I also called the defense myself. So
Okay.
if I found someone else, I was looking at a couple guys to bring in to call the defense, I would. But I think being an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, I think two of those is pivotal. Those two pieces is pivotal when you're trying to win ball games.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Hamilton County football it broadcasts live on WJHC 107.5 FM, and Ryan Mitchell and Josh Altman been doing the play-by-play, been doing
Phenomenal.
radio for a long time. We tried to get Josh to be a part of this, but he had one of the guys at the Napa store call out today, so he couldn't make it. But those guys do a great job just describing the action. I enjoy listening to them.
Ryan, a lot of people know Ryan Mitchell. That's our principal at
Right.
Hamilton County High School. Does a phenomenal job. Definitely a sports guy. And also Josh. Josh's son is our ball boy. Josh been
Okay.
doing a great job on the radio for us. He's actually, putting his hat in some of the, I guess, the political things that's going over right now in
Yeah.
Hamilton. And, he's a great guy. So however that goes, it goes. But, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I'd vote for him if I could, but I'm a Suwannee County resident. But all right, let's talk a little bit about the team this year, about the Trojans. Tell me about just position breakdown. I know there's a long way to go, but what are you looking at as far as your quarterback and your skill positions?
I think me personally, I think we got some great pieces. Obviously we lost two quarterbacks. We lost one to Fort White and one to Suwannee, but God bless us. We've been very fortunate to have, someone come in right there and be a great quarterback for us. We really got the same old line from last year. We just lost one guy, but we got, another piece, a kid came in right there as well. So we pretty much got the same team from last year.
Okay.
We're not really going to change too much up front, skill wise, same thing as well. So honestly, right now it's just about being consistent. I just building off last year. I guess building off last year.
And the blessing to that is those kids have that year under the belt. They're coming
Right.
back, and so that experience is going to pay off.
Right.
They've
I
been through it.
I think experience is pivotal. Like I was saying earlier, with that JV program, a lot of kids never played JV football. They go from middle school straight to varsity. You can't have that. So being that we done had this year last year that we building off of when we went 5-5, most of these kids on that team played last year. Last year was very fortunate to get those guys in early. With some of the scores we had last year.
Right.
So this year they're gonna be that much better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. On the flip side of the football, what does your defense look like?
Defense, man, we looking real nice. Honestly, I think this year we're gonna have to do a little bit things a little bit differently, coverage wise. But
Okay.
I think as you playing different offenses these days, you got to adapt and adjust, man. Like I said earlier, so you can't just be a one trick pony, man. You got to be able to do everything.
Yeah, and right now it's just getting your base defense set, but as you get into games, you start game planning, and this team may run a spread and throw a little bit more, and then you play a wing T team or something
Yeah.
like that. So it's week to week.
I think, and just being honest, man, I think we're very fortunate this year. We kind of got the same team from last year, so we ain't gonna really switch up too much. Again, we ain't gonna be one trick ponies either. So we'll have a couple surprises here and there, but not. I don't. I'm pretty sure with our schedule right now, we don't play any wing T teams this year.
Okay.
It's always tough to get ready for those type of
Oh yeah,
guys.
well that was the back. When you played a lot of those type teams. That was kind of the trend at the time, and now it's kind of changed. But those wing tees, you had all that misdirection, and you had to know where the ball was. I know just doing radio on that was always tough because sometimes we wouldn't know who had the ball.
Man, I gotta tip my hat off to him, man. I think his name Gunner Cox over at West Nassau did a phenomenal job against us last year running that wing T. And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, it's just a 3 yards in the cloud of dust, 3 yards in the cloud of dust, and then a hit for 40.
Yeah.
He did a great job last year against us. I'm glad I don't got to see him again.
I don't remember the coach's name. He coached one season in Hamilton County, but he ran a single wing offense.
His name was Rick Whittington. He's
Okay,
over at Dixie County now.
is he? That was a crazy offense. I remember it, and it would. You think misdirection on the wing T something that single? You couldn't tell who had the football half the time.
Man, being honest with you, man, as someone who played a part of both of them, I really think, that wing T is honestly harder than that single wing. Single wing, they kind of split in the center,
Right.
and it's mostly power, trap, counter. Some people call it Sally when they run wing back counter, but I honestly think that one a little bit more easier to stop than that wing T.
Yeah, it was tough for the announcers. I remember calling games, and we'd have some cat going down the field and think he had the ball, and then he wouldn't even have the football. It'd be on the other side of the field. So, yeah, it was fun to call. But you so that was I think he came in after Coach Pittman, if I remember right.
So after Coach Pittman, we had Coach Armstrong. Coach
Okay.
Armstrong was there from 13 and 14. That's when we ended up going to state. And then after that, Coach Armstrong ended up leaving. We ended up having Coach Seth Stebbins. Coach Seth Stebbins, he actually ran a kind of variation of the single wing over here for the Suwannee Bullpups.
Yeah.
Was great, great head coach for me in high school. Great guy. Took my hat off to him. But yeah.
When you think back on some of the influences in your life as far as coaches, teachers, and people that influenced you, can you recall that?
Yeah, I always think back, and I try to be better than they was to me. So I've been very fortunate coming up with all the head coaches and all the teachers I had. Ryan Mitchell was a great one. He always been a great guy at Hamilton County. Again, I just mentioned Seth Stebbins,
Yeah.
and also you guys might know him. His name Foster Bristol,
Oh
Coach
yeah,
Foster.
he's on your staff.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. I got to keep him around, man. So I'm just trying to give to those kids what those guys gave to me.
Yeah, exactly, and you're aware of that. So kids are looking up to you now
Right.
and looking for leadership and looking for inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
I think now as a head coach, it's kind of your goal and it's kind of your job to make these kids be better than what they is when they come to you.
Right.
So most of them, they 13, 14, 15 years old. So it's your job as a head coach to discipline them and mold them right there. Not only to being a great football player or an athlete, but be a great man or a great young woman. We actually have, a female that's playing for our middle school this year. So
Is that right?
it's actually just molding them to be better.
What position is she playing?
Believe it or not, man, she played left tackle.
No kidding. Wow, that's awesome. Have you even thought about special teams? I mean, I know it's a summertime, so you might not have got that far, but as far as kicking and extra points,
So I think when you're a smaller school, obviously when you're playing against bigger schools, kind of like the Swannies, the Fort Whites, the Willistons, you got to be good on everything. So yeah, we rep special teams daily. I
yeah.
think you got to be clear and concise in everything, and you got to have a couple tricks here and there.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about playing the Trojans, just throughout your history, you've always had great athletes. So get that ball in the open field. I mean, that was the one thing you wanted to avoid when you played Hamilton County. So kickoffs and just try to contain them at the line of scrimmage because once they get free, you ain't catching them.
And that's the goal, man. Obviously, we're trying to score as many points as we can and stop you from scoring as many as you
Yeah.
can. We actually played Suwannee County last year. We actually had a little trick play. We ran it down punt with them. It was a little wedge, direct snap. So that worked pretty well for us. We got about 10 yards on that one last year.
Yeah. Well, Swanee and Hamilton have played every year, and it's just I compare it to Swanee and Columbia. Swanee needs to keep that game. I don't care if you get your butt kicked every year. That's a rivalry game, and that is a measuring stick. So you
Mhm.
can try to get better. And the same kind of with Swanee and Hamilton. Hamilton haven't beaten Swanee since I want to say
It's been a while.
1996 was the last time. But we didn't play for a couple of years, and there was a night where we were both on the road and took 3+ hour road trips up to Georgia, and it's like, and we both took a pretty good pounding that night. It's like, man, we have a money game. We need to stay home and play this. So they ended up putting Hamilton and Swanee back on the regular season schedule.
I think when I came home, that was something that I thought that was crucial. I think just for bragging rights and like you said, a rivalry thing, you got to have Suwannee County on the schedule. Everyone knows when Suwannee plays Hamilton or Suwannee plays Columbia or Madison, everyone is going to be at that game.
Yep.
I think everyone wants to see those type of games.
Yeah.
Kind of like Florida and Florida State. You
Yep.
just can't not play. You got to play. So
Yeah.
I think that's it'll be a good competitive game for us this year, and we look forward to it.
No doubt about it. That's always a fun game when you cross the river. But you got a lot of rivalries when you look at it because you got the Bell Bulldogs, you got Lafayette, which is a bit of a rivalry. I mentioned Fort White. So each and every game, it kind of takes its own meaning. But those rivalries is what makes football great to me.
I think like and another thing too, I think those kids need that too, for bragging rights. With it being kind of the transfer portal, we call
Yeah.
it school choice in Florida. Bunch of kids might live here but go play over there. So, if you get the opportunity to play your friend on different teams, that's bragging rights for the rest of your life that, when you're sitting down at the cookout or the river or something that you could talk about.
Yeah. How have 7-on-7's been going? Have you enjoyed that? That's always kind of a separate season.
7-on-7s, we really heavy on that during the summer.
Yeah.
They've been going real well for us. I believe last Monday, I believe it was, we went down to Branford, Trenton, and Santa Fe. Had a real good tournament out there with those 3 teams. We did pretty good, and hats off to those guys. They did pretty good as well. We actually traveled to Osceola on Monday. We actually traveled to Osceola, and we'll compete with those guys.
Okay, and you have more planned coming up during the summer, more 7-on-7s or different things?
So honestly, man, this is gonna be our last one next Monday. That'll be our last 7-on-7, and then we're gonna kind of just gear our attention getting ready for this paddock camp we got at Warner University, July 8th through the 10th.
Okay, and then that'll be you travel there and eat, sleep, and drink football.
Right, and we can't take nothing away from it. So it's a FCA camp, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So
Okay.
we'll go out there, we'll compete, but we also be serving the Lord as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big goal for me, especially being as a head coach. Football is going to end one day, so I'm trying to lead these kids and make them understand that, hey, look, football end one day, but Christ is eternal.
That's fact, and you have to have that foundation, and you have to have something to lean on. Now, football might not go the way you want it to. I mean, there's injury, there's things that happen, but if you have the Lord in your life, I mean, that can get you through a lot of hard times.
I agree as well, and that's the main thing during the summer. You want to get bigger, faster, and stronger because, kind of like you said, injuries could happen.
Yeah.
So if we can give you the proper nutrition and build you up and get stronger during the summer, that's what summers is for, to get ready for the fall. So if you come out, work hard off summer, you're gonna get some good results in the fall.
No doubt about it. But if you don't put in that hard work, you don't get the results. So that's what this is about.
Absolutely. I believe I told you guys this before on another radio station, but I'm a big guy that I believe victory comes through preparation. All right, if you don't prepare properly, it's no way that you're gonna get the results you want. So in the summertime, we definitely try to prepare hard.
Have you had pretty good community support as far as businesses and people supporting you and supplying meals and things you need?
I think a good thing with being an alumni at Hamilton County High School, being from that community, everyone kind of knows everyone over there. This might be your cousin, this might be your teacher, so they're very supportive. My first year actually at Hamilton, I think we might only have about 15 banners. Last year I think we had 45, and this year we're looking to continue to build on that. We have a extremely supportive community.
You do, and having worked over there and working over there on a daily basis, I mean, there's a lot of pride in Hamilton County. I go over there, I wear my green and white every once in a while, and I get these looks. And I walked in a Napa store, and they won't even say the word Suwannee. He said that team down south. That's
Yeah.
what they refer to them as.
Well, we try to stay away from that team across the river in green, but shout out to Ace Hardware, man. They got a big H over there on their store. They're very supportive, and Chuck Barnett, shout out to him. He's doing a great job building it up over there, him and his partners. So we bring it. We got a lot of pride, but we bring it even more.
No doubt. All right, Coach, we're going to take a timeout here. We'll be back with more of the Sports Report after this on RiverCountrySports.com.
In the heart of the red zone is where the game is won, and you need a dealership that knows about scoring big. At Roundtree Moore Ford, we've scored this area's largest selection of new and pre-owned inventory. And right now, we're scoring rates as low as 0%. It's time to get out of the stands and score big in the Roundtree Moore Ford red zone. At Roundtree Moore Ford, the customer always wins. So make your next ride a touchdown at RoundtreeMoreFord.com today.
Excellence in academic and clubs. Tradition, family, future. Foundations for lifelong learning. Leadership begins here. Careers start here. Curiosity meets opportunity. Building the leaders of tomorrow. Learning begins with love. One district, every student, every day. The Suwannee County School District, my choice for high-quality education.
You were there at the beginning. You stood behind me, guiding me through good times and bad, teaching me lessons I wouldn't appreciate until later, preparing me for the day when you couldn't be here. What you've given me, I'll carry wherever I go. And because of your planning, I know I'll go far.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Aww. Hey, Hamilton County. It's the Miss Red, White, and Beautiful Patriotic Pageant Celebration. calling all young stars to come show off your red, white, and blue and shine with confidence, pride, and purpose. Hosted by the Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce, Thursday, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton County Annex in Jasper. 3 age divisions: Little Miss, ages 5 to 8, Junior Miss, ages 10 to 14, and Miss, ages 15 to 17. The cost to participate, $50. Applications are available on the Chamber's Facebook page at First Federal in Jasper, also at the Annex, Jasper Library, and the Jasper City Hall. For more information, email hamcopageant@gmail.com. Celebrating the spirit of America, it's the Miss Red, White, and Beautiful Patriotic Pageant Celebration. Don't miss it, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at the Hamilton County Annex in Jasper. Back here on the Suwannee Sports Report, brought to you by Roundtree Moore Ford on Highway 90 in Lake City. Got Coach Fabian Reid talking Hamilton County football. Coach, anything else you want to touch on? Anybody you want to thank or just talk about?
I mean, I could, introduce my middle school coaches.
Okay.
We actually have 2 new middle school coaches that came in. And the staff we had last year did a phenomenal job. But, it's kind of always tough, being in Florida and coaching football and working a regular job. So a couple of them got promotions at their job. Congratulations to them. And, they had to step away. But, now we have a new coach named Alex Hernandez. It's our middle school head coach. And, we also have another defensive coordinator, Coach Hayes. He's from Lake City. I think it's going to do real good for us this year.
Okay, as far as JV goes now, who is the head coach of JV, or do you take care of that?
So in Hamilton, it's a small school, so it's kind of funny. So I'm technically the JV head coach as well. But what I'm doing differently, though, is my wide receivers coach for my varsity. He's going to call the offense. And then also my D-line coach for the varsity. He is going to call the defense.
Right.
So my job as a head coach and being over the program is to mold you into being a better coach, to mold these kids into being better people and better players. So I think the best way to get that experience is these JV games. You run the show. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch. I help where it's needed.
Well, one thing that helps with that is if you can get everybody to run the same thing, have the same terminology as they go from the JV to varsity, I mean, that learning curve's a lot smaller.
Right, and that's what we was trying to do, all the way down to our middle school this year. So those new coaches that we're bringing in, they're running that same system. So it might take some years to catch up to others, but we're coming.
Yeah. And so far so good. So, listen, I want to wish you good luck this year. We're looking forward to following you guys. We'll see you on the 18th of September when you come across the river and take on those Suwannee Bulldogs. I have that on River Country.
And it's always good to see you guys. It's always good to come over and to compete with you guys. So we look forward to it.
No doubt about it. And again, thanks for your time and just good luck, man. You're a great guy and appreciate talking to you.
Hey, God bless you. I really thank you for having me, and I thank the audience for listening to us today.
All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Suwannee Sports Report. It is brought to you by Roundtree Moore Ford, Highway 90 in Lake City. Proud to be part of the Morgan Automotive Group, dedicated to delivering exceptional service and a wide selection of quality vehicles. It's also brought to you in part by Van Carpet One, by Farm Bureau Insurance, and by the Suwannee County School District. Our streaming producer tonight was Mr. John Koch. Our executive producer, Ms. Tammy Neal. For Coach Fabian Reid, I'm Wayne Littrell. See you next week on the Suwannee Sports Report.